The skate park of Tampa's 28th annual Tampa Pro contest ultimately came down to a highly subjective close call between hometown hero and 2017 SOTY Jamie Foy and the flying Frenchman Vincent Malou. No less than 69 contestants, ranging in age from 18 to almost 60 years old, were whittled down to 30 semifinalists, and 200-minute-long runs later was finally shaved down to 10 finalists. Compared to its contemporaries like the minutely scored SLS contests, Tampa Pro is much more subjective, and while not as arbitrarily judged as X Games, Tampa scores aren't transparently disclosed in real time, with this year's finals results not revealed until 45 minutes after the final run. Being a much more core-friendly event, Tampa Pro doesn't take itself too seriously, with commentators candidly sharing their opinions about the contestants' clothes, style, and abilities while they compete in a run.
Yeah, covered in sweat. My man's been getting it today.
Right?
That gray shirt doesn't help though, it shows everything, right?
Yeah, he's trying to shed off some of that Ybor tornado, probably. Yeah, you know, if you're going to wear a gray shirt to Tampa Am or Pro, you better not be a perspirator, right?
As for the venue itself, even the course is crammed with people during the contest, giving Tampa Pro its own unique environment. When your run is over, you can still keep skating if the crowd is feeling your energy, and skaters battle tricks in between runs that they initially couldn't roll away from.
I'll shut my mouth. That's time.
One more. The crowd wants one more try on that. You got it? You down? One more. Run it back.
This is a good
Run it back.
This is definitely a good one more.
Yes.
Let's go, mids. Everybody make some noise. See it.
While it's not necessarily the case every year, winning Tampa Pro is debatably like winning Thrasher's SOTY, in that for every first place competitor, there's at least one other, if not several different candidates that would arguably be just as acceptable as the champion, which was definitely the case this year. To some, Tampa Pro isn't as prestigious of a contest as SLS, but there are highly competitive skaters who don't like to show up without walking away successful. Floridian Jake Ilardi, for example, was whining about the wet floor, caused by the heavy rains soaking the outer perimeter of the course, while on the other end of the spectrum, Spain's Jaime Mateo, completely zozzled, couldn't have cared less about when his run was supposed to start or end.
From Spain to kill the game right here, he'll go!
And was jumping off the highest launch pads he could find.
Out there on the court.
Oh, here we go.
Always look out. Spider-Man. Whoa.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh my gosh. What?
It makes sense that Jaime has no concept of time, and he doesn't care. He just wants to... Oh!
The bottom line is that when it comes to the finals, if I observed correctly, there were 3 perfect runs, completed by Felipe Gustavo, Jamie Foy, and Vincent Malou. Felipe's flawless run featured a collection of flip tricks into grinds, with 7 total maneuvers in his 60 allotted seconds to give him 4th place. Jake Ilardi, who ended up 3rd, would have won Tampa Pro 2022 had he not missed the tray lip mid-run, because he still rolled away from 10 increasingly difficult tricks, more than Foy and Malou's 9 tricks in their runs. Vincent probably should have been the winner of the day, especially because he incorporated flip tricks into his finals run, while Jamie's good run featured 1 shove out of a front blunt, with every other trick being a slide or grind only. Although that last second front crook to feeble transfer ender on the kink was easily the single biggest highlight of the finals. Since Malou was the top finisher in the qualifiers, he didn't have to skate in the semis, and his 89.94 score from the 9-trick run from qualifiers feature all the same tricks he did in the finals, just in a different order and on different areas of the course. Jamie, on the other hand, had an 86.48 from the qualifiers with only 8 tricks, but it was a perfect run. And in semis, Foy played it safe and didn't even shove out of anything, but added a switch front crook ender to increase trick volume from qualifiers for a total of 9. The judges rewarded Foy for switching up his tricks, especially in the finals, with the risky shove out and grind to grind transfer, even though he slacked on flipping his board. The awards were awkward, especially with Paul Zitzer clearly not having any of Brian Schaefer's dangerous buffoonery with the Sawzall.
Careful, careful, I'm right here. Certain things aren't funny.
But apart from that, Andy Anderson dark slid through 3 kinks and won a PS5 for his trouble.
I just want to say, I couldn't have landed that dark slide if it wasn't for Jaime doing the back boneless in the between of everybody skating.
We skate fans were spoiled this weekend, with the internet's most hyped game of skate gracing us on the Barracks YouTube channel. 82 stressful, deafeningly quiet turns, 10 turnovers, and 4 NBDs, one of them a death blow, was what it took to determine the winner of the Battle at the Barracks 12 Round 1 match between Jonny Geiger and Jamie Griffin. Geiger and Griffin's match is the third official battle in the tournament's history that's been determined off-site from the Barracks. The first was 10 seasons prior, when Danny Garcia lost to Paul Rodriguez at Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. And the only other battle officiated outside of the Barracks was the Paris-based Aurelian vs. TJ match in Season 12, Round 1. Jonny uploaded a battle between himself and Jamie 2 days before the Barracks uploaded the actual battle, with Geiger besting Griffin on double flips and a nollie double tray death blow. The official battle, however, didn't end up in Jonny's favor, but it took some fiendish flat ground from Jamie to take down Geiger. The first half of Geiger and Griffin's battle was relatively tame, with the hardest trick before the late double and pressure flips were introduced being the inward heel flip, a 60% successful maneuver in Battle at the Barracks. The overall average difficulty of Geiger and Griffin's tricks before the first letter was 85% in terms of the tournament's consistency. But the double heel flip, a 42% consistent trick, gave Jonny S, and marked the beginning of the heat getting turned up to an uncomfortable temperature. Jonny's the 8th skater to get a letter on a double heel, and the second in Season 12, first inflicted on Chris Pierre by Nick Holt. From the moment Geiger got letter S, the average consistency of the remaining tricks was 53%, which is the second lowest success rate for a battle, behind only the third-placed match in Season 6 between Shane and Mike Moe, where the average consistency in that short, 15-turn game was a mere 50%. Jonny quickly made sure to tie the match after Jamie's forward double flip miss, giving Griffin S on the pressure varial flip. The only other pressure varial flip to go down was when Kelly Hart gave Corey Kennedy letter S back in Season 3. Geiger quickly gave Griffin back control after missing the 57% successful pressure heel. Griffin doubled back on the forward double flip, redoing it for some reason, with Jonny handling it easily on defense. Jonny missed the hard flip for letter K, resulting in a quick slide down a slippery slope by missing the bigger spin for A and the tray double for T. The bigger spin is just under 44% consistent in the tournament, mainly thanks to Shane's efforts in landing over 60% of the 18 on record. Like Jamie and the double dolphin, Jonny redeemed his late flip, but couldn't shake Griffin with it. And after making a highly risky third attempt at the pressure heel following 2 back-to-back turnovers, Geiger's successful attempt wasn't a hard enough trick to give his opponent a letter. Quickly adapting, Geiger introduced a wild, never-before-seen in Battle at the Barracks, late backfoot varial heel, finally giving Jamie a second letter. And with the half-cab late flip letter A, it looked like there was hope for Jonny until the backside late flip turned against the same man who gave P-Rod letter A in Season 7 with the trick. Backside late flips are actually fairly consistent at 50%. Thanks to Will Fyock's impressive defense against Chaz Ortiz in Season 7. If you saw the pre-battle battle on Jonny's channel, you'd be less surprised about the Merlin twist make on defense, with Geiger managing to land it in both battles against Jamie, marking the match's third NBD after the double dolphin and late backfoot V heel. Geiger's last shot at having a chance against Griffin swiftly ended with a super close Nollie Casper miss. Jamie's backside double heel is the first death blow of its kind, with the only other backside double heel flip variation being the Nollie back double heel, first landed by Will Fyock in Season 7. Griffin's win means he needs to face Spencer Barton in round 2. And based on ELO ratings that take into account the difficulty of both Barton and Jamie's match difficulty and margin of victory, the odds favor Jamie to win, with a nearly 20-point advantage in ELO score. It was too bad Jamie and Jonny had to face each other in round 1, because Geiger could likely be the second best influencer of this season. Griffin's got his work cut out for him, because even if he beats Spencer in round 2, he'll eventually need to prove himself against the best icon, and whoever emerges superior between the best Joe and Pro. I think for how much pressure these boys had on themselves, from getting their battles shuffled around to waiting for over a year to simply play a game of skate, they both clearly have a mutual respect for each other and had fun with the opportunity to show off their skills, making it hard to be mad about the outcome, but still wishing Jonny had a less intense opening battle. The game was clean too, with the most questionable oversight being Jamie's toe touch on the pressure heel to avoid a fourth letter, but it was on defense, so big deal. Since this battle features cuts in between tricks, there's always room for editing magic to dictate what we see versus what actually happened in that Switzerland-based skate park.